We pack the guest list with celebrities and beautiful people.
Stripping, I realized it's one of my favorite things to do.
Oh my God, don't even say that because I will not invite you.
Hello. Welcome back to more Girls Next Door. We're entering our second season of recapping, reviewing, and rehashing your favorite Y2K reality series, The Girls Next Door, and today we'll of course focus on episode 1 of season 2 titled Happy Birthday Hef. I'm your host, mega fan, and Y2K survivor Megan. Come on in my house. Again, welcome back, everyone. I want to start with a little house cleaning. Feedback on the podcast has been really positive, but there have been a couple comments about me being an uber Kendra supporter. And, it's funny because before I launched the podcast, I ran the first 4 episodes through multiple focus groups, and the criticism then was that I was actually too tough on Kendra. So you really can't please everyone. But here's my official response. I'm not a Holly hater or a Bridget basher or a Kendra crusader. I am a fan of The Girls Next Door and probably always will be. The point of this podcast is to revisit the episodes, analyze the dynamics, unpack the editing, and call things the way I see them. One week I'm side-eyeing Bridget's paper doll wardrobe. The next I'm cringing at Holly's little puffin squeals, all while calling out Kendra for making everyone an hour late because she's too busy twerking in tube socks. As of right now, I genuinely don't have a favorite girlfriend. They all bring something entertaining, bizarre, frustrating, or weirdly lovable to the show. But I'll make you guys a promise. If I ever feel myself developing a true favorite, I'll let you know in real time. Okay, let's move on. Season 2 of The Girls Next Door aired on July 30th, 2006. But before we head back to the mansion for new beginnings, I want to talk about endings. Because in 2006, something quietly wrapped up that had defined the entire early 2000s era of celebrity. Our Y2K reference for today, the final season of The Simple Life aired. And just like that, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie closed the chapter on what it meant to be famous for being watched. And I don't think we realized at that time how much that show set the tone for everything that came after it. Because The Simple Life wasn't just about fish out of water comedy. It was about contrast. It took 2 hyper-glamorous, hyper-curated women and dropped them into situations where that image didn't quite hold. And the entire appeal was watching the cracks form, watching the performance slip, watching what happened when the persona didn't match the environment. But here's the thing. By the final season in 2006, the audience wasn't laughing the same way anymore. The joke had shifted. It wasn't just, look at these girls out of their element. It was starting to feel like this is the element. Fame itself had become the environment, the job, the identity. And suddenly being watched wasn't a side effect of being famous. It was the point. Which is why the ending of The Simple Life feels less like a finale and more like a transition. As Paris and Nicole step out of that version of reality TV, something else is stepping in to take its place. Something a little more controlled, a little more produced, a little more invested in shaping how we see the women at the center of it. And that's where The Girls Next Door sits in 2006. And if The Simple Life showed us what happens when the performance falls apart, this show might be showing us what happens when the performance becomes the whole thing. And with that, I'm going to ask you to kick off your candies, hang up your trucker hat, and silence your sidekicks for this double recap of The Girls Next Door, Season 2, Episode 1, called Happy Birthday Hef, and episode 2 titled 80 is the New 40.
Now strip. Hef, here I come for you, baby. I'm a badass bitch. Has been a naughty boy.
We open in Kendra's bedroom, and there is absolutely no easing into the season. No soft reintroduction, no here's what the girls have been up to. Just immediate chaos. Kendra looks directly into the camera and says, "Now strip," before beginning to take her clothes off to what sounds like a legally safe, royalty-free knockoff of cherry pie. So already, we're off to a strong start. Kendra changes into a full dominatrix costume, black patent leather corset, thong, thigh-high boots, whip, the whole early 2000s Spencer's Gifts but Make It Sexy starter pack. Then she hits us with, "Hef, here I come for you, baby. Hef's been a naughty boy." She gives her own bare ass several thwacks of her whip, and we're 30 seconds in. 30. Kendra admires herself in the mirror that also reflects the disaster zone of her purple bedroom. Kinda looks like a limited 2 clearance bin exploded. And that contrast feels like the thesis of Kendra as a character. Hypersexual performance layered over something that's still very unfinished. From there, we cut to the mansion, which is being decorated with balloons, massive floral arrangements, a poster-sized invitation.
It is Hef's 80th birthday, and since that's a big round number, he wants to make a really big deal out of it.
Happy birthday to me.
Every year, Hef throws a big party for his birthday. In the past, like in the 70s, they used to have birthday Olympics and birthday roasts and birthday variety shows.
And Holly steps in to ground us, explaining that Hef is turning the big 80, 80 years old. So for context, and considering that season 2 would have been filmed the year prior to its launch, that puts Holly at around age 26, Bridget at 32, and Kendra 20 in this footage. Holly is looking very Y2K again in a tight, bright pink sweater. Her hair is straight with those curled ends that were so aggressively early 2000s. And she's got that pinned back section that, in hindsight, was almost definitely doing some heavy lifting in the hairpiece department. And no shade, we love a practical queen. And then we cut to the flashbacks. Archival footage from Hef's birthday parties over the years, including from 2001, where Hef is standing among what looks like an entire volleyball team of lingerie-clad women. Holly, Bridget, and Kendra aren't there yet. This must have been the era of the 7, as Holly later calls it. Though visually, it looks closer to the era of who exactly is keeping track anymore. Already, we're seeing the pattern. Rotation, replacement, expansion. Not relationships, but a system that existed before these girls and would continue after them. Then we hit a clip from 1987. Hef, much younger, shaggy brown hair, white 3-piece suit, standing on stage, smiling into a microphone. And he says, "If you'll sing it with me, I'll sing Thank Heaven for Little Girls. Because after all, I guess that's really what it's all about."
If you'll sing it with me, I will sing Thank Heaven for Little Girls. Because after all, I guess that's really what it's all about.
And pause. Not until Holly reacted with utter disgust to this flashback on the Girls Next Level podcast did I feel the urge to really examine it. Was she being overly petty and critical of her ex-lover, now accused of exploiting young women, trying to reframe an otherwise innocuous 1980s karaoke performance as something sinister? Or was there actually more beneath the surface than I'd originally assumed? For me, there's always been this version of Hugh Hefner that's easy to defend. The intellectual, the collector of beauty, the guy who just didn't want to be alone. But when you start connecting these little cultural threads, it stops feeling accidental. It starts to look like a very specific worldview playing out over decades. Now, I'll be honest, for the longest time, I assumed the song Thank Heaven for Little Girls was just whimsical, harmless, vintage background noise. In reality, the song comes from the 1958 film Gigi, sung by Maurice Chevalier. In the film, Chevalier plays an older Parisian man who narrates a culture where young girls are raised to become sophisticated women and romantic partners. The song is essentially saying, little girls grow up into desirable women, society celebrates that transition, and men benefit from that cycle. That's the premise. The song isn't about innocence, it's about the pipeline. Girlhood, desirability, womanhood, all framed as a charming celebration for men. So when you rewatch that 1987 clip with that context, yeah, suddenly it's not just quirky karaoke. Back to the episode, Holly explains that tonight is Casablanca night, an annual mansion tradition where guests dress in formal attire while watching Casablanca and enjoying champagne and caviar. Very old Hollywood fantasy. Very Hef sees himself as the last sophisticated man alive. But tomorrow night is the real event, Hef's actual 80th birthday party. The mansion transformed beyond recognition, a celebrity guest list of early 2000 elites, naked but painted ladies, and did she just say 3-6 Mafia?
And tomorrow night is his actual birthday party. We pack the guest list with celebrities and beautiful people. We have painted ladies at the party. And this year, 3-6 Mafia is going to perform. So it's always a really big deal, but this year I think it's going to be even bigger.
Yep, 3-6 Mafia will perform at Hugh Hefner's 80th birthday. And I need a moment for that because I'm thinking about my own grandmother's 80th birthday, which involved 5 reserved tables at a Luby's and a sheet cake. And Hef is over here like, let's add the Legends of Parental Advisory crunk-era strip club rap anthems. Remember, it's not just a party, it's a production. Truly, nobody committed harder to the bit of being Hugh Hefner than Hugh Hefner. Hey, quick interruption, guys, to remind you to subscribe to more Girls Next Door. You know, upon completing the first season, I wasn't 100% I was going to continue. It's quite a time suck to research, produce, and edit these episodes. But if you're in, I'm in. So be sure to let me know you're listening and like and share this podcast. Want to drop me a message or submit yourself to co-host a future episode? Visit moregirlsnextdoor.com. Over at the Playmate house, Bridget is preparing her birthday gift for Hef, which is herself.
So Hef's birthday present has taken me almost 2 months to get together. I've totally taped the tissue paper down in here, but I need your help to help me put it on.
Okay, get in there.
I didn't know what to get Hef for his birthday, and for like the last 3 years, I've been wanting to jump out of a birthday cake for him.
Can't believe that's not tight enough.
It's barely tight. And this year, I decided, you know what? It's his 80th. I've got to do it. This is going to be trial and error, I can tell already.
In the scene sits a giant wooden birthday cake prop. Bridget's dressed in soft pink and white satin lingerie, very on brand, very Bridget, and she explains that she's going to pop out of the cake and perform a striptease in front of Hef, 1,000 guests, and 3-6 Mafia. Crystal Camden assists her in tightening her corset strings while Bridget slides on pink satin elbow-length gloves. And wait, are we about to get a show? We hear the rise of an old burlesque tune, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And sure enough, Bridget dramatically emerges from the top of the birthday cake for a dress rehearsal performance. She shimmies and shakes around the cake, and just as it's about to escalate, The scene cuts. But don't worry, we'll circle back. Meanwhile, Holly is taking a completely different approach. She's in the mansion office with Hef's assistant, and she reveals that she's gotten him 2 white peacocks, which is such a specific kind of gift. It's thoughtful, it's rare, it's a little eccentric. It feels like she's trying to meet him on his level intellectually, not just perform for him physically. So now we have Bridget planning a public striptease, Holly presenting exotic animals. I wonder what Kendra's come up with.
Look at, Hef gave me an anniversary card this morning. It's been 2 years since the day I met Hef, because I met him at his 78th birthday party when I was body painted and everything, you know? Hello. It says, "Happy anniversary, honey. I still get a thrill of you. Love and kisses, Hef." Everything was just perfect timing, the way it all led up. And I'm happy that we met on his birthdays, because, you know, I'm really bad at memorizing, like, anniversaries and stuff like that. If you got him. I got him that.
In the next scene, Kendra sits on her bed and reads aloud from an anniversary card Hef has given her, reminding us that they met a couple years earlier at his 78th birthday party when she was working as one of the painted ladies. Among the clutter atop Kendra's bed is her birthday gift to Hef, a movie poster. Playboy Mansion Confidential, it reads, a parody of LA Confidential, with Kendra posed glaring seductively over her bare shoulder holding a gun, and Hef's shadow photoshopped behind her. Kendra starts worrying that her gift suddenly feels underwhelming compared to the other girlfriends. Bridget's planning a live striptease, Holly's out here sourcing exotic albino birds, and Kendra's sitting there with what's basically a rolled-up FedEx office printout. But at this point in the episode, I'm still thinking, honestly, once it's framed, that's actually kind of thoughtful. The bar at the mansion is just operating at such an insane theatrical level that a normal human gift suddenly feels inadequate. Later in the office, there's a tender moment where Kendra and Hef embrace, and she tells him how excited she is to spend his birthday with him. And then her confessional is inserted where she screams, "I am so excited to see 3-6 Mafia!" So, there it is. Kendra begins rapping "Slob on my knob" to Hef, and if you know the lyrics, you get what makes this scene so bizarre. Hef feels it too because he just looks at her and says, ironically, "You're so romantic." And that's Kendra. Every time the show tries to land her in a sincere, emotional moment, she pulls it back into chaos. Next, we get to Bridget's family visiting, which is where things definitely get complicated, because she decides to show them her striptease.
After we had lunch, I drug them over to the bunny house and I made them watch a dress rehearsal of my striptease routine, because I don't think they've ever seen a burlesque dance done.
Oh, you look good.
I'm not modest to strip in front of my family at all. And I had the pasties and a G-string on. That's practically dressed. When I was stripping, I realized it's one of my favorite things to do. Maybe another career goal.
It's time to go.
"Wow, you look good," says her stepdad, Jeff, a tubby man with a shiny bald runway down the crown of his head and salt and pepper patches on either side. "I'm not modest to strip in front of my family at all," Bridget boasts. And then she performs the entire routine, popping out of the cake and piece by piece removing her lingerie until she's wearing nothing but rhinestone pasties and a G-string. All in front of her mom and her stepdad, and the editing leans hard into his reactions, cutting between her dancing and his face in a way that feels designed to make you uncomfortable. Now, Bridget and Holly have both said later that this was manipulated, that the show tried to twist something innocent into something weird. But I'm gonna say this. If you're 32 years old performing a striptease for your stepfather, the editors didn't invent the tension. They just didn't soften it. As the episode moves into Casablanca night, the contrast between the girls becomes even sharper. Holly's stunning in a gold gown, Bridget radiant in black satin, both fully leaning into the theme. And then Kendra, in a thong and tube socks, struggling to zip up her dress while twerking in the mirror. And that's when it really hits me that season 2 is going to lean heavily on nudity. The camera doesn't leave Kendra alone. Every outfit change, every mirror moment, every chance to remind the audience what kind of show this is, they take it. The night itself is beautiful in that over-the-top way. Champagne, caviar, the mansion transformed into a version of Rick's Cafe. Holly presents the peacocks, which Kendra promptly names Casa and Blanca. And credit where credit's due. That's funny and clever. But even in the middle of all this curated elegance, the show keeps cutting back to Kendra, half naked, changing out of her too tight dress, adjusting, twerking, performing. It's already starting to feel repetitive. Bridget, meanwhile, is caught dipping her finger into birthday cake frosting while narrating that she's trying to stay healthy before her performance. And actually, it's one of her more relatable moments in this episode. But this becomes important later, because Holly and Bridget both claim this to be one of the pivotal moments where producers started building an overeater Bridget narrative. Personally, I never would have noticed if they hadn't pointed it out constantly afterward on the Girls Next Level podcast. But now, every single food shot involving Bridget practically glows.
I ate more cake than everybody else.
Casablanca night wraps up, and the mansion awakens the next morning for Hef's actual birthday bash. Kendra calls her mother Patty to complain that her gift is boring compared to the others, and we learn Patty has been invited to the party. Kendra immediately becomes horrified when discussing the required attire, lingerie or less, and insists she does not want to see her mother wearing anything except basketball shorts and a jersey. Which is rich coming from the woman who has spent this entire episode wandering around in a thong and tube socks. Meanwhile, Holly hosts a luncheon for former playmates from the 1970s who've returned for Hef's birthday.
Maybe like 20 years from now, I'll be inviting Bridget and Kendra, and we'll be like, remember back when? Wait, I forgot what I was saying.
Were we ever this young?
I can't remember.
And props to Holly here, because integrating yourself into a lunch table filled with Hef's exes sounds emotionally exhausting. One of the women there is Sandra Theodore, who years later made some of the most disturbing allegations featured in Secrets of Playboy, including claims involving coercion, drugs, snuff films, and psychological manipulation within the mansion, which makes watching this cheerful luncheon scene now feel incredibly eerie in hindsight. Hef joins the lunch and, in a rare moment, openly praises Holly for helping keep him healthy and happy. And initially, it feels sweet. But then I notice Bridget and Kendra aren't there. And it did make me wonder whether Holly's position as number one girlfriend became most visible in moments when the others were absent. Back upstairs, Patty arrives at the mansion while Kendra and the girls get ready for the party.
Bridget's room. Your mom just arrived. What? She's in the Great Hall. What? God, I have to go put my vibrator away.
Holy cow.
What do you want me to say? She came in with all this makeup on. I've never seen her with makeup on in my life. Never. You can't have dark lipstick on like that. Because? Why? Because. Because what?
What? She doesn't have dark lipstick on, does she?
Why?
Remember, you're taken. I'm not.
Kendra immediately begins criticizing her mother's makeup while wearing a smoky eye that looks like she lost a fight with a charcoal grill. Then, while Patty is distracted, Kendra sneaks into her luggage, finds her party outfit, and hides it in her dresser drawer because she just refuses to let her mother wear lingerie to the party. It's played up for laughs, but honestly, it's fascinating psychologically. Kendra can participate in this environment herself, but the second her mother enters the equation, suddenly the whole thing becomes uncomfortable. Holly enters Bridget's room bare-breasted for help with her corset. She's wearing her famous peacock costume, which she's revealed trashy lingerie custom-made for her. If you know, you know. And then we return to Kendra's gift disaster. She finally admits she never framed the poster. It's still rolled up, still unfinished. She literally asks Bridget if she has a frame she can borrow. And I'm sorry, but this drove me a little insane. Kendra had enough time to assemble an entire dominatrix outfit and spend hours twerking in front of mirrors, but not enough time to buy a frame from Target? Eventually, she presents the rolled-up poster to Hef, who laughs politely, in the exact tone people use when handed a homemade coupon book by a child.
When it was time to give Hef my present, I was really nervous. I mean, Holly's and Bridget's present were like the bomb. And here's your present for me.
Oh my goodness.
I have to get a frame. I didn't have time to get a frame.
I'm really proud of the poster I gave Hef, and they'd pat myself on the back. You know, I did a pretty damn good job. I paid $500 for that.
Then the party officially begins. The mansion explodes into pure 2000 chaos. Flashing cameras, nearly naked women, elaborate costumes, celebrities wandering around everywhere. Paris Hilton performs a Marilyn Monroe-style Happy Birthday, which somehow manages to feel both iconic and deeply cursed at the same time. Footage cuts between Playboy models and 3-6 Mafia holding pimp cups and wearing platinum grills like this is the most natural, normal crossover event imaginable. Hey, there's Farrah Fawcett.
There were so many celebrities at Hef's birthday party. Donald Trump and his daughter Ivanka. And Paris Hilton even sang a little song.
Happy birthday, Mr. Hefner. Happy birthday to you.
I'm always scared to talk to celebrities. That's more Kendra's thing.
Kendra essentially refuses to leave the stage during 3-6 Mafia's performance and practically becomes an honorary group member. Meanwhile, all around the mansion, barely dressed 20-somethings bump and grind to Slob on My Knob, which truly is the natural atmosphere of every dignified 80th birthday celebration. And looming over all of it is Bridget's performance. The cameras keep cutting to her nervous expressions as the giant cake is wheeled into position. Then finally, pop. Out she comes for the third full striptease performance of the episode, in front of Hef, thousands of guests, and yes, 3-6 Mafia. Guys, I can't even hate on it. It was probably the smartest gift she could have given Hef. He loved it, Bridget clearly loved doing it, and 20 years later, she's still talking about it. So, in terms of memorable birthday presents, she absolutely won. The episode closes with Holly reflecting on how surreal and exciting it feels to be a part of Hef's elaborate world and how happy she is with where they are in their relationship. Surrounded by drunken celebrities, dancing girls, and total sensory overload, she kisses Hef and tells him she loves him.
Hef said to me that his 80th birthday party was the best party he's ever had. And it's cool to be a part of that because he's had so many great parties. since I've been with Hef, things have just kept getting better and better. And if this birthday weekend is any indication as to what this year is going to be like, I'm in for a hell of a year.
I love you. Anytime.
All my heart.
And the episode ends frozen on the four of them, Hef, Holly, Kendra, and Bridget, who notably never redressed after the striptease, locked together in this bizarre little snapshot of 2006 excess before any of them fully understood how differently the world would eventually look back on all of it. And that's what makes this episode feel so strangely important in hindsight, because on the surface, it's ridiculous fun. Paris Hilton breathily channeling Marilyn Monroe while 3-6 Mafia performs at an 80th birthday party. It's campy, chaotic, over-the-top 2006 reality television at its absolute peak. But underneath all the spectacle, you can already feel the machine of the show tightening around these girls. Holly is becoming the devoted wife figure, the organized caretaker desperate to prove her importance through thoughtfulness and sophistication. Bridget is increasingly edited into this hypersexualized cartoon of innocence, where the show wants us laughing at how quirky and naive she is, while simultaneously pushing her into more humiliating territory. And Kendra. Kendra is very clearly the wild child caricature. Loud, half-dressed, perpetually twerking, always one step away from a calamity. And the thing is, these roles worked. Audiences accepted them completely. Because in 2006, reality television was really starting to perfect the art of turning people into simplified archetypes the audience could instantly recognize. The sexy one, the wholesome one, the crazy one. And once viewers lock onto those identities, it becomes hard for the actual person underneath to escape them. Watching this now, knowing what we know about the mansion, the relationships, the power dynamics, and even the aftermath for these women, there's this weird feeling hanging over the whole episode, like everyone's still smiling and performing and playing their assigned parts, but the illusion is starting to flicker a little around the edges. That may be what makes season 2 so fascinating, because I don't think this is just the season where the show got bigger. I think it's the season where the fantasy started accidentally telling on itself. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Subscribe for more Girls Next Door. I love you, and I'll see you next time.
On the bricks.